Hello, hello.
Hey guys, Diana, Buckeye Girl. How are you guys doing?
Welcome,
I
welcome.
think spring hopefully is here to stay. I saw 75 in the forecast for next week.
Tuesday? Thursday?
Thursday, I think. Thursday it was.
Yep. You guys hear us okay? See us okay? Everything good? Cross our sound check off our list?
Yeah. Hi, Island Homesteader. How's the weather down in lovely Carolinas? Hey, Valerie. Hey, Allison and Randy and Leah and Cecil's here. Did you get your rabbits under control, Leah?
Everything looks good. Sweet.
Great. We were just saying that we sure hope spring is here to stay here in Michigan. It's been a rocky road getting here. Our last live stream, I couldn't believe it when you were cleaning up the photos that we shared. It was just last 2 Sundays ago that we had that ice storm.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, like half an inch of ice almost.
And then we had a couple close to 60-degree days here within the last week. Oh, geez. Batten down the hatches. So Leah's had over at Crepe Myrtle Farmstead had some rabbits wreaking havoc on her garden.
Yeah, I did catch part of that. I was curious, and you don't have to go too in depth on it, but are you guys doing like a completely, totally portable greenhouse? Because I know you guys are planning on moving in the next couple of years. So I just wonder what you guys were going to do as far as your greenhouse, if you were going to make something completely portable so you can take it down and bring it with you, or if you're going to leave it behind, or what you guys had going on.
We had a busy week though.
Definitely.
I was gone for most of the day Sunday. Abigail had a dance competition, so I didn't even get back home. We left at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get home till 7 in the evening. But uh, we still got a lot accomplished. You got a lot accomplished while I was gone that day.
Oh, Sunday? I
Yeah,
worked all day Sunday.
but
I got a late start. I didn't get started till like, I think 10 by the time I got up and had breakfast and went out and started working. But
hey, my view from the woods. Hey, Christy. But we'll just let the goats say hello real quick.
yeah, what are they doing now?
Eating.
Eating hay?
I just put fresh straw down, and I don't know what's wrong with them because they choose to eat their bedding. So I'm like, fine, I guess you need some extra roughage.
Yeah, it was an indoor day for the goats today. It basically rained all day, and
Yeah.
so they were inside the garden shed all day. I think tomorrow is it supposed to be nice again tomorrow?
Not super. It's drizzly all day, I
Uh,
think. It gets nice again, I think, Wednesday. So Leah said it's going to be a permanent greenhouse, but they've got exciting news coming up. Okay, we'll stay tuned.
cool. I've been curious about you guys. You keep talking about planting trees and building greenhouses, and at the same time you're talking about moving in a couple of years. So I just wonder kind of what you guys' plans were, and kind of two different sides of the coin at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what you had going on.
But let's go ahead and get into it. We've got a lot to share with you. Um, so Saturday I spent all day in the garden. I planted well, I don't know which way you guys are seeing it, but if you are looking at the right-hand side of your screen, see, I told you that was going to be distracting because now I can't point to my camera. Todd just switches screens on me and I can't see.
I switch screens sometimes to check on things and check the status of things.
I told him don't do that. But these two right-hand beds, I pulled back some of the mulch and I planted spinach, sorrel, collards, kale, and mustard greens down both sides of those beds. And the little plastic 2 liters that you see in there creating like a mini greenhouse environment. And this is a total experiment. I've never done this before. I read it on permies.com if you guys follow that forum. And it was actually Paul Wheaton throughout the challenge and I think there was 3 scenarios. Start your tomato plants inside and transplant them. Buy your starts and transplant them. Or do this method where you put your pop bottles out, you warm your soil for a week in advance, and you start your seeds direct, still in these pop bottles. Once the seeds, and they're capped. Once you have a sprout, you can release the cap. And then once you have a nice, good, full start, you should be within season. So we're going to see, because my winter sowing method wasn't that great of an experiment, but I'm all for it, so let's try it. The next 2 beds have peas down the center row, so kind of 2, 4, 6, that row has...
This one?
No.
Right.
Where are you pointing? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Here?
that row. Yeah. That
This
row
bed?
is going to have peas that grow up kind of an arched trellis. So those have peas down it, and then probably 3 of those beds are literally almost fully planted with carrots because we eat tons of carrots. Oh,
They
she
kind of
thought that
do
they
look
were
like chickens, I
chickens.
guess.
That's funny. Butts up, I guess.
Little leg
Yeah.
ones.
So that's what I did. Oh, and then the round barrel, Abigail planted all that with just a mixed variety of lettuces and arugula and things like that. So excited to see little seedlings here within a week or 2. And that's just a close-up picture of, you can see how the condensation's building in the pop bottles. And what I did was I kind of just twisted them down in the soil. I just cut the bottoms off so they're pretty tall still. We'll see if they work.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Hey, Gons. And update on our garlic. It literally looks like every single garlic I planted took. So there's 5 or 6 rows. I can't remember. And I know it's only 5 varieties. Todd and I pinched a leaf off to taste it. And wow, how fun is that? This is our first time growing garlic. And the flavor was incredible. I'd imagine, we'll have to look into it. I'd imagine you can cook with, I know you can cook with escapes, but even the leaves themselves. I have to learn how many you can actually harvest at a time without damaging the plant at all.
Yeah, super, super strong garlic flavor. And we have because you bought so much garlic.
Yeah.
So after we planted this, we still have a gallon size.
We've used quite a bit of it.
Yeah, a gallon size Ziploc bag in our freezer, and most of them are all broken apart, so that when we're cooking something and we need some garlic, we just reach in, pull out a couple frozen cloves. The shells break off of them really easy. Chop it up and throw it in whatever it is that we're making. But I keep using, because it's in the top of the bag, I keep using these big giant.
It's the elephant garlics.
Elephant garlic cloves, and each clove is like this big, and it definitely. I eat a lot of garlic. I've always eaten a lot of garlic, so I know my garlic really well. And this elephant garlic has such a unique flavor and a unique taste to it. It almost has a sweet taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
That when we pluck those leaves, those sprouts off that garlic, I swear whatever one I plucked off of was one of those elephant garlics
Well,
because it
because
was
we
the
had just,
exact same flavor
yeah,
as that elephant garlic.
and the night before I had just made shrimp scampi with some of that garlic. So it was like you immediately tasted like dinner from the night before. So it was cool.
Yeah.
So Valerie's asking, will we dehydrate some of it? I sure hope so, because we go through a lot of garlic powder. And as long as we get a really good harvest, I would love to be able to make our own garlic powder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We wanted to try dehydrating garlic this year, and we also want to try to make some black garlic with some of it,
Yeah,
just
black
as an
garlic.
experiment.
Mm-hmm.
We're big experimenters. We're always trying stuff.
Well, you never know until you try, and then
Yeah.
one of these days something's gonna work, and it's gonna be something tried and true, and we'll do it again. And then just a quick picture of our onions after they got soaked by the rain. So they're all still hanging in there and doing good. I see the weeds. Todd just went out and took this picture before the show, and I see a couple weeds I need to pull, but they're doing good.
And there was a couple too that were
leaning over,
and a couple like the bottom was actually.
Sorry, guys.
The bottom was actually out of the ground, so you should probably go out tomorrow and push them back down in.
So I think they consider black garlic like a fermented garlic, but it's not really fermented. You cook it like really low, really long. So a lot of people will just go to like Goodwill and buy like a cheapy slow cooker that they don't mind permanently embedding the smell of garlic in it. And you do it outside because otherwise your house is going to smell incredibly strong like garlic for probably a month. But you put it basically at a low temperature and you cook it for like 2 days, right?
I think longer. And it's not necessarily a cooking process, it's more of a fermentation process.
Mm-hmm.
But you accelerate the fermentation process by
a low heat.
So like 120 degrees in a rice cooker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let it sit for like 5 days or 7 days or something like that. And the garlic turns you do it inside the clove, and then when you peel the shell off, the inside is black.
And supposedly what it does is it's considered a delicacy, I guess, in some areas. And some people say it's more hyped up than it's actually worth. But it releases all these crazy beneficial nutrients and antioxidants and stuff.
It's been big in China and Japan for a few years now, and made its way over here to the States, and high class cuisine and different things.
Hi, Carrie. Glad you could join.
Hey, Daryl, Sherry, welcome.
And Noah's Ark said that her house smells like chicken. So we did our first homegrown chicken in the Instapot last night, and we were doing chores outside, so I just ran in and threw the chicken in. And it was my first unsupervised time working the Instapot, and it worked really, really well. But that was probably from our last show till today the biggest effort, other than the only picture that I don't think we have to show for you is, because we've got a video coming out on it, is Todd made me a compost sifter. So I harvested a lot of compost to get the garden ready, or the garden beds ready from our chicken coop. And that's a good workout. My shoulders were sore the next day. So thanks, Bandana Grandma. I'm loving your videos. I wish I could join more of them, but you go live when I'm at work most of the time. So sometimes I'll sneak my headphones in and I'll tune in. So would Daryl say we just sent some over here? I'm not sure what that is.
His video editing live stream
Oh,
is
thanks.
on right before us, so
Oh,
maybe he sent some people over.
appreciate it. But oh, if you were on our live stream last week, we showed you the blue flowers that were coming up, and researched it more after the live stream. They're definitely snow glories, and Todd captured, finally the lighting was good, that he captured the best photo of these flowers. So I just wanted to show you those again. Bandana Grandma says, oh, I need a compost sifter. I'm using a mesh metal lawn chair. I bet that works though. But aren't those flowers incredible? That day with the blue sky and everything, it was just too perfect not to get that picture. And they're still there. I think we're probably on like the last week we're pushing it, and then they'll probably start dying back.
Yeah, my dad came by last week on Sunday. I think on Sunday he had to bring me, I don't remember what he had to drop off. He was like, hey, can I get some of them flowers from you? And I'm like, sure. They're actually bulbs. We dug up a couple patches about this big and threw them in a box for him to take home because he lives on wooded property as well, out in the back behind his house, and he wanted to plant some out back. And they're tiny little bulbs when you dig them up that are about the size of either a dime or
kind of like a wild onion when you would pull up a wild onion.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
A dime or a penny or a nickel. These little bulbs, you can actually buy them online, but they're kind of expensive. They're like 50 cents a piece for them bulbs.
Don said he's going to his brother's Navy retirement. I'm a proud Navy mom.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and he ended up calling back and said, hey, can I come get some more?
Yeah.
So I think they multiply pretty easily.
Yeah. They're spreading out into our lawn now and in the grass and to different areas.
Which I don't mind because this time of the year you don't have much prettiness going on. So they'll come, they'll go, and they'll get mowed if they need to be mowed. But what have you guys been up to since we last talked? Any major projects going on? No, my son was in the nuclear engineering program down in Charlotte, South Carolina. Now he's stationed out of Pearl Harbor. Yes, congratulations, Mike. Seeing what all we have to show. It might take us a while to get through it all. So
let's talk about So there's been a couple weeks in a row where we talked about fencing and building fencing for our goats and taking down the old horse wires and putting up new fencing. And I think the project is finally done.
Yes, for the goat side.
For the goats, yeah. The final step. I had some more I had a few T-posts that I had to add because there was a couple spots where the span of our wood posts were a little longer than I wanted. So the fence had a little flex to it. So I put a couple T-posts in and fixed that. Last week I showed you some pictures of the insulators that we put in because we wanted to add a single strand of electric wire all the way around the top of the fencing. So if the goats do get a little frisky and decide, okay, I'm going to climb up this thing and maybe I'm going to go out exploring for the day, it should give them a pretty good zap and send them back down to the ground on the inside of the fence. So, was it Saturday?
No, you did that Sunday while I was in the garden. Or Saturday, yeah.
Last Saturday, we ended up running the poly wire all the way around. This is an example of the corners that we used. So there's 4 of these corner pegs, and I absolutely love Tractor Supply. We're there like at least twice a week. But they sell a 4 pack of these corner posts at Tractor Supply for $16.99. I got the exact same package on Amazon for $4.99.
Yeah.
So definitely do some shopping if you're into a project like this because it can save you some money if you do a little bit of shopping. Did you have somebody you want to answer?
No, no, but I asked people what their new projects were, and Diana processed meat birds,
Awesome.
and Island Homesteader started 5 new beehives a couple weeks ago, but already lost one of them. So we have our bees are coming within probably the next 10 days or so. So
Hmm.
that was another thing that you did that you didn't throw a picture up. You painted your beehive.
Oh yeah.
So he got that done over the weekend. Got like the bee feeder to feed them when they arrive
Hmm.
because we really don't have much blooming. Um,
I ordered another
Medium box.
medium box with
Hmm.
frames from Man Lake, and I also ordered a top feeder
Yeah.
for the bees. So I want to make sure they're fed well and fatten them little girls up.
And then Valerie asked when our pigs are coming, and I actually found out this morning. I can either pick them up the last week of May or the first week of June. And the last week of May is just Memorial Day weekend holiday, so I already know we'll be at the cabin, and it's not really on the way. So I'll probably pick them up. I'm planning June 2nd to go pick up the pigs, and you guys don't even know how excited I am. So speaking of fencing, that'll be Todd's next project in this area is he will have to do the other side of the paddock for the goats. Oh, Crepe Myrtle said that they're going to their first local beekeeping meeting next month to
Hmm.
get bees. Awesome.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to tell you, I found out the local Monroe Beekeepers Club meets, I don't remember, it's like the third Thursday of every month
Mm-hmm.
at the Monroe Historical Museum.
Awesome.
So I'm going to go there sometime and meet some people
Good.
and learn some more about bees.
Yeah. So we're going to be winging it, Island Homesteader. This is our first experiment with bees, and I know it's very challenging to make that work. So go
Yep.
ahead and
Okay,
finish
so
your
yeah,
update
back to
on.
the fencing. It turned out really well. So we ended up going, I debated for quite a while to go with, I did not want to do high tensile wire because it's not the right application for what we want to do. I either wanted to go with poly wire or poly rope. And I ended up going with poly wire because it's a little bit cheaper. I don't know if it lasts quite as long, but it should turn out okay. So here's where the gate is that connects our. This is how we get the goats in and out of the pen. And so we got one of those plastic handle things. So we can disconnect that, move it off to the side, open the gate, and then let the goats in and out. That turned out really well. Um, Here's our solar charger that we got for the electric wire. This is the same one that came with our Premier One fencing that we bought for the goats. It works perfectly fine on that. It runs about 8,000 volts all the way around, so perfect. And then here's a photo of where that solar fence controller taps into that hot wire to keep things electrified.
Yeah, it's kicking 8,000 volts. So
Yep, and you can see our little goat fort out there in the background. The goats are loving it.
yeah.
But I did decide to. I've seen multiple. I spent quite a while researching poly wire and how to splice it together properly because some people will just take 2 strands of poly wire and just tie them together in a knot, and some people say it works fine. Some people said no, you should actually use some metal crimps and crimp it together. So I did find some pretty affordable metal clasp that basically just clasp the two wires together that hold them together.
So Bandana Grandma got the motion detector squirrel water gun. So she's
Oh,
going to do an
cool.
unboxing video. That's going to be so fun to watch.
Somebody was just talking about
Well, it was Bandana, I think, in one of our last streams.
no, last night.
Oh.
Big Bear Homestead on two family homesteads. They were the guests last night, and somebody was talking about how to keep deer out of their orchard. And that was one of the things he recommended was one of those motion sensor water shooter things. So.
Yeah, we're going to definitely look into that. And then people are talking, I guess there's a Mother Earth News Fair that's coming up this weekend. And Island Homesteaders are actually going to be staying over at Justin and Rebecca Rhodes' house.
Really?
For that, yeah. Because they were one of the hosts on the Great American Farm Tour. So Justin and Rebecca have opened up their home to any of the hosts that want to come stay with them. That's so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
My View from the Woods is going to be at the fair. I'd like to go to one of those. I love the magazines. I mean, and the website, of course. That's about the most I've ever interfaced with Mother Earth news. Hey, Wanda. I'm sorry, but can't hear you. I don't know why.
Maybe she has her sound down because there's someone sleeping next to her.
No, maybe. So that's the update, like I said, on the goat side of the paddock, but we got to get right into doing the pig side of the paddock. Oh, and I saw, I think it was Allison over at Ziegenvine said, make sure to run electric at the bottom of the pig fencing. And we have talked about that. So I think it is part of the plan to keep them from rooting up underneath the fence.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy to jump or right across over to the other paddock. They're basically connected, so. And there's some definitely, so this was a first time project for me. I've never pulled fence wire before. I've never really dealt with woven wire fencing, so there was definitely some quite a few lessons that I learned on the project the first time around. That
everybody's saying that they got their sound turned way up. Oh, you're not being rude. I'll lean closer and try to talk louder. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Bandana said
I can hear
that.
you, but not very well.
Bandana said she had her volume turned way up too. Okay. So we'll watch our mic audio levels and make sure that we're speaking.
Yeah, we did have the laptop moved a little farther away than we normally do, so. But yeah, the audio levels do seem a little low tonight for some reason.
That's interesting.
All right, well, we apologize, but so there was definitely quite a few lessons that I learned pulling fence wire the first time. And unfortunately, I didn't film any of that process. It was a 12-hour day. My dad was here working with me. It was about 33 degrees. We were freezing. It was cold. We just wanted to get done, so we just cranked through it. So I've been wanting to go back and at least try to, I even thought about simulating some of the things so I could show you what I learned. But since we have the pig fencing that we have to build, I'll just make sure I do some videos for you guys and show you what I learned, especially when it comes to pulling that wire, because you have to attach the wire like on your fence post here, and then you pull it tight and then attach it to the other end. And we tried to do that with our four-wheeler. We have a winch on the front of our four-wheeler, and there was definitely quite a few lessons learned there.
But So we're at halfway in the hour, and I think we still have like one good thing to show you, two good things to show you. So we when was that we went to the conservatory or conservation district? Was that
Last Saturday.
no, it was Friday when you got home from work.
Oh, Friday, yeah, off when I got
So
home.
our conservation district here in Monroe does an annual tree sale. It happened to be on Earth Day. I don't know if it's always on Earth Day. But it was Earth Day this year, and you can pre-order or you can show up and get some of their overstock. So that's what we did this year. We just went to see and possibly with the intention to buy some trees. And we ended up bringing home 25, I think. I'm not quite sure. It was somewhere 2025 trees and bushes to plant. What? So we just have a couple pictures to show you. What did we buy? We bought, so we have, this back kind of 3 acres-ish of abandoned field that we're trying to figure out exactly what we want to do to make it healthy and restore it. So we bought these Dawn redwoods, they're called. I guess they'll grow, which is that first tree that you see. I guess they'll grow like 5 to 10 feet a year, and they get 75 to 100 feet tall. So I know most of them do look like sticks. But oh, Noah's Ark said her mom bought 300 trees one year for them. But you know what I've researched and I've actually talked to a couple people that own greenhouses, like that's their business. And one of them was nice enough to tell me, if you want to ensure success, buy the youngest sapling style tree. Rather than, people always want the instant gratification, so they go buy the big, mature 5-10-year-old tree from Lowe's or whatever, and they wonder why it died, and it's just too much shock for them. We also bought 5 Colorado spruces, 5 white, was it white spruce or white pine?
They were not white spruce. They were some form of white pine.
White pine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. So we bought these cute little things. We have, what we bought was like a pollinator pack, and it included things like redwood and choke cherries and
dogwood, I think.
Dogwood. Maybe that's what I meant instead of redwood. Dogwood, choke cherries, a bunch of just like things that obviously flower, so to help with pollination. And we bought 5 currant bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't planted the currants yet. I know I want at least 2 of them up in the orchard that we're working on. And we'll see where we plant the others. But what we ended up doing was just on both sides of the pasture putting 4 or 5 trees, and then we just spread the others just randomly throughout the pasture. And I think it's just going to be beautiful when it grows up. Yeah, I don't know if that showed that there or not. And oops, wrong one. Plants, where's the tree planting? Okay, so yeah, that back section of trees, like right above my head here, that is all poplar, Noah's Ark, and they grow like weeds. We have another clump that's off to this side. I'm still pointing the wrong direction. It's over here is a huge clump of poplars, and They're not serving much purpose for me right now, so I'm not sure what we're
I
gonna
don't
do with
even
them.
know. I don't even know how we're gonna get rid of them. There must be 500 of them,
Oh, easily, yeah.
and it's in the area that floods every year, and it turns into a little pond, which is why that's where they're all growing. But I don't know what we're gonna do with them.
Oh, so Christy says she has a Dawn Redwood. Her dad planted when I was 7 years old. I'm now 61. Unfortunately, Ivy's growing up it and trying to kill it. How big is it, Christy? I can't wait to see it. Hey, Tamra, glad you could join. Yeah, they grow fast, but the bugs like them. Dawn Redwoods are a living fossil. I think 3 are fossils and 3 are them were 55 million years ago. I'll have to look into that. Oh, Ziegenvine said that they've been kicking around the idea of starting Christmas trees.
Well, they said they have 200 of them on the way.
Oh, wow. So we actually just briefly mentioned that only because a girlfriend of mine mentioned it. Like, you guys should just, if you just turned your back of your property into a Christmas tree farm and a pumpkin patch every year, you would have this, small little residual income that came in. And it's definitely something to consider. I hope you have great success with it, though. That'll be fun to watch. Make sure you do a video, Allison, Randy.
Yeah, there was on their. They talked about that on their why
We do what we
why
do.
you do what you do, and maybe it was like what are some things. Maybe it was the gardening one. It was something new that you're going to plant this year that you haven't grown before, and they talked about their Christmas trees.
I'm sure I remembered while I was watching the video, but I only retain so much up here. But let me show you something else. And this was a big effort that we did. So this is our house like right after we moved in. Ignore the ugly bushes, they're gone. But look right here above my head. See that big section of wooded space and how it's all overgrown and, just brambles and all this junk? That's what you're seeing now with the blue flowers and that clearing where we have all the blue flowers. So last year we worked on clearing a huge section of it, which is basically what you're seeing the results of with the snow glories. So I kind of just mentioned to Todd, and it was one of those lucky moments where we're both on the same page in the back of my mind, and we just haven't spoken it out loud to each other. I said, hey, what do you think about starting to work on clear? We're kind of caught up on chores. The garden's done, the paddock's done. What do you want? Think about starting to clear the rest of the forest. So that's what we did this last weekend. No, when did we do that? Just yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday, because my scratches still hurt on my leg. Yeah.
Well, yesterday was, man, I don't even know what day it is. Today's Tuesday, so we worked on it Monday.
Yeah, yesterday.
And did we work on it Sunday too?
No, just Monday.
We did all that in one day.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like now if you were just standing kind of towards the side of our house. And you can see where we've cleared, basically, where the blue flowers are. And some to the left. But we went ahead and got in there and really cleared a large majority of what we could. There's still a small section in the front and on the side by the neighbor's property, and then straight back through here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but is that way. The paddock's right over there behind that kind of V-shaped tree, and then directly behind that blackberry patch, and that's what all that is that we haven't touched because it's scary and you're going to get cut up, is the orchard.
Hey, Allison and Randy talking about, and you guys have jobs too? Yes, we do. We do have jobs. We both work full-time jobs. But this is all we.
This is the fun stuff for us. Our jobs are like the Oh, I gotta go to work again tomorrow. When can I get back to the farm? And then this is just another view from the back, looking forward back to the house. And you'll see, so we got that one, there was so much dead. And that's been the challenge is there's so much old dead. So we got the one drug up to the front. This was an old apple tree that had been down for some time that we ended up getting out of there. And then after we do this initial clearing, we'll come back through with the chainsaw and get rid of some of like the ugly trees that we don't want, like the saplings and stuff, and we'll just prune it and leave the trees that we want. And that's just one more view. So if you had just turned and looked towards the side yard. And I'm going to try to do my pointy thing here. Right here. No, stay there, Todd, so I can use you as reference. So right above, nope, come back. Right above Todd's head. In front, you see that pinky stuff on the other side of that little patch of blue flowers? That is a ginormous raspberry patch. That
Oh, like way up.
I'm trying to go right above your head.
Yeah, follow the line from my finger. We need a mouse so we can point to stuff.
I know. And I don't even have the foggiest idea how I'm going to tackle getting that into a somewhat manageable condition where I can actually harvest more than just what's on the outside. But the intention is, like I said, this goes directly back to our orchard, is to just have a nice flow of a proper food forest, a mature one, into our orchard. So that'll be cool. And we had just the burn pile going all day long while we were, well, all evening.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our big hoorah yesterday. So, like I said, we got home, we changed our clothes, got right out there. I came in about 6, I think, and threw the chicken in the Instapot. So that was really fun. And I said how enjoyable that's going to be during the summer when we're working and we can just step away from chores or whatever and come throw something in on the Instapot, and then when it's time, walk in and your dinner's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be so nice. So sorry, I'm going to run up and read the comments real quick because I was chatting. I didn't get to read.
Oh yeah, and Christy has to bail when her friend's dog died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, we have a lot of our trees that we have in the same forest area are overrun with poison ivy bad.
Real
the
bad.
vines grow right up, they go all the way up the tree, they start choking it, they start pulling it down. And they're really hard to remove. But I guess step one is to go out there with a hatchet, go as low to the ground as you can get, and just cut the vine. That'll at least kill it. It'll dry, and then maybe someday you can pull it down out of there.
We actually did that a lot last year. He went through a ton of our space and just chopped the poison ivy at the base,
Mm-hmm.
let it die all summer long, and then fall and winter, we pulled a lot of it down and we burnt it during the winter while people weren't outside and on a non-windy day. So should it accidentally get to somebody that has a condition where they shouldn't inhale it, the likelihood of them doing that is very low, because I think it was like single temperature day when we did that.
When we
burned all that poison ivy.
Yeah. And there was no wind, and we stayed far away.
Oh, and Bandana said yes, and then clean your hatchet. You're right. He learned that lesson last year.
I got poison ivy like 5 times last year.
Yeah. I know they say that, put the goats out there and let them eat it. And we don't really have a way to Not a big enough electric portable fence to secure them in there right now, but I did take them in on a lead, and they enjoyed eating. I can't remember what they were eating, but I think it was just small little twigs coming off of random trees. Um, hey, Chelsea, I'm glad you made it. But what we did, I forgot to mention, when we cleared a lot of those woods, there was a lot of, I don't even know what they would have been, a lot of those small trees that had the green healthy still on them
Hmm.
and the buds. I ended up just tossing them over the fence to the goats for a snack while they watched us working. So that was fun. Oh, I think that's all of our updates though from the week.
If you haven't planted garden, we planted trees. Oh, and I transplanted some gooseberries.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot of gooseberries way, way, way in the back of our property. There's a fence row that separates our pasture from the farmer's field back there. And it's an old, old fence row. There's some old trees back there. And I kept finding a lot of gooseberries growing back there last year. We went back there and snacked on some of them and ate them.
Mhm.
I moved some of them over the weekend on Sunday. I think I dug them up and moved them up to our forest around a couple trees that we have. So hopefully they take off and we get some gooseberries this
Yeah, I hope so. Cause well, we I had bought. That's not a word.
year.
I had bought two gooseberries in addition to what we already had from Stark Brothers. Um, so those got planted. We had two transplants already, and then you planted 4 or 5 more transplants. Is that what you said you did?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I transplanted like 4 or 5 up there.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And I'm thinking I might even put a couple currants in there that we got. Some of the challenge with that area is just trying to figure out what we really want it to be, where we want our pathways to be versus garden. And I did plant some chamomile up front and a row of collards and some peas near the chicken coop. So I can easily just, as I'm walking through there, grab a snack and toss it to them. And Bandana, I thought of that exact thing. She said, be careful with the goats once they are working the poison ivy because then they'll have that oil on their coats.
Mm.
And they love their cheeks scratched and they probably have the poison ivy oils on them.
Mm-hmm.
A gooseberry, the way I describe it is it's got the texture of a grape when you bite into it, but the inside is the texture of a blueberry. That's how I describe what it feels like to eat it. And what it tastes like, it's maybe a tiny bit tart, but sweet too.
Yeah, it's a tiny sweet, a tiny. Some people say they taste like watermelon.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's got the most unique texture to eat. It's very enjoyable. They're little, probably not quite that big, little marble size balls. I got a goji berry too, Susie, and I've not gotten anything yet. So I think my problem is it's not in a sunny enough location. So that's another thing I might look at transplanting back in the proper orchard. And I also have two hardy kiwi vines. Then they're doing really good, and this is only the second year, so I'm very hopeful that I might get fruit this year. So we'll see. Yeah, Nozark, do you have your dog shut up? I do. Do you hear Mika whining? Yeah, they're crying.
Yeah, they're penned up behind the gate over there, the baby gate.
Mm-hmm.
They just climb all over us, and
It's just distracting. Yeah, I watched Chelsea driving her tractor tonight on her new video. You're the boss, Chelsea. I think that's it.
yeah, I think we covered everything that we
Yep.
wanted to cover.
So I said pigs are coming June 2nd. They're not coming to us. We have to go get them. And
Did you tell them what kind of pigs we're getting?
they're red wattles.
Yeah. Is that the kind with the little, like,
Wattles.
little chop things hanging on the side?
Supposedly. I mean, I think that they can be born without them. Just like...
Do you like our dogs?
But I like them. I'm sure you do. I like them too when they're not annoying. Climbing all over us and wrestling back there. Maybe next week, okay? Next week I'll try to bring them back.
Yeah, or a couple minutes before we sign off, I'll go get one and let you say hi. We do have about 10 minutes left, so we can do. I don't think Rachel picked her favorite videos of the week this week, but I do have 2 things that I'll share with you, and there's links to both of them in the description. And one was a funny video from the Texas boys. Texas dad did I think he was supposed to be 10 reasons why he grows his beard.
10 reasons to have a beard.
10 reasons to have a beard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he ended up got up to like reason number 37 or something like that. And it was pretty funny. He cracked me up a couple of times in that video.
He was doing it as if a serious content in a humorous way in response to Texas mom had done a video on her top 10 reasons why she wears a head covering.
Okay.
And so he was like, she did this, so I thought it was necessary that I go ahead and address the top 10 reasons why you should have a beard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very humorous. He did a really good job on it.
Hi, Anthony. Welcome.
Hey, Anthony.
How many pigs? 2.
2, and yes, we're eating them. We're not breeding them this year. I don't know that we ever will. I think, what did I watch? I watched Homestead's video where he goes to his pig breeder to buy his pigs, and he's asking the questions about, some people have asked me why I don't breed them since I do this every year. And I don't know all the, not necessarily questioning the truth of it, but it made good logic. And that I guess if you're not constantly breeding your pigs, perhaps your boar can become sterile or something like that. And I don't know. I just don't want to, at this time, I just want to raise them to harvest them.
And there was a lot of financial reasons too.
Yeah,
by the time
there was 2. Mm-hmm.
You feed those parents, you feed your breeding stock all year long to get X number of piglets out of it. Even if you sell the piglets that you don't want, you're still, the food cost is high.
But I know Chelsea's got a big pig operation, so she sells a lot of piglets every year, and I'm sure she's at that point where she can produce an income as a result of it.
Yeah, my second favorite video for the week is not a video. It's a new channel that I came across. I was doing some more bee research, I think last week, and I stumbled across a new channel called Garden Fork. And they have a playlist that I linked in the description of our video tonight down below called Beekeeping 101. And they have about 40 videos in this playlist that they put together. There's if you're a first-time beekeeper, you just want to learn, or if you're a second-time beekeeper and you want some more info, check out their playlist. It's really well put together. Very logical, very factual information. So some good content there if you're looking for info on bees.
Yeah, and I've just been out of it from a YouTube watching perspective. I think I catch maybe 2 or 3 videos a day, if that, where I'm actually making sure I'm watching the content. The rest of the time I'm at YouTube trying to at least just participate in everyone's, all my friends out there. Yeah, I think it was called Garden Fork. I'm at least trying to give people views and watch as best as I can, but I don't always get to fully listen and participate the way that I would like.
Say hi to Noah's Ark.
Here's little Mika. Oh, she's so pitiful. She's got the liquor out. That's why she doesn't belong in here during a live stream.
I didn't know she's going looking for her blanket.
So Susie said she watches Garden Fork, mostly his cooking videos.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to see it yet. He just told me about it tonight.
Yeah, I think they have like 100,000 subscribers, so a pretty big channel.
Oh, Weedham and Reap just hit 100,000 subscribers. That's incredible.
Yeah.
We're really just loving that channel right now, and the experiment with them building the pond and their cute little new goat, and it's just been fun to watch. She is pretty. She's getting a little fat though. I'm not talking about Weedham and Reap. I'm talking about the dog.
The dog, and this one is Rue.
Yeah.
He's the one, if you saw the video we posted this morning. Yeah, Rue was in that video. He snuck into the chicken coop in the morning while Rachel was feeding him. He goes in there and he sniffs around, and because we throw all of our compost right in the chicken pen and let the chickens do their thing with it, and he goes in there and finds little scraps of compost and takes off running with it.
Yes.
Caught him with a chicken bone
the
other
last
day.
time when I couldn't find him after I got done with the chickens, and I came in the house and I was calling him in and he wasn't coming. I was like, I bet he's still in the chicken coop. He was all the way like in the house. And I honestly if you're ever worried like you don't have chickens yet and you have dogs, I didn't think that day would ever come, because literally they licked their lips for like 6 months after we got those chickens that they were going to eat them. And here they are now. It's like they ignore each other. And if anything, the chickens boss the dogs around. And
every now and then Rue will get a little feisty and run up to one of them like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The chicken will look at him,
yeah,
give him a quick little peck, and
he backs right away.
No, they're about twice as tall as he is. So.
Yeah, I felt bad for their little goat's leg too, which was some of my over engineering on our goat fort with the double layer of just hardware cloth on top of the cattle panels and everything, because I didn't want to see anything like that happen to our goats. I know that swimming pond is incredible. We've mentioned it maybe twice, but a pond is in our long-term plan here on the property. We always had a pool for the longest time in our suburban property. And there's nothing like when you've been working hard during the summer and you're just sweating and you're nasty and the mosquitoes are bothering you, whatever it is, to be able to go jump in the water. And I want that so bad. And I want it for my future grandkids, that when they come over, they can go jump in Papa's pool and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I'll leave with just reminding everybody to keep the Pratts in your thoughts and prayers as they're having to manage just their homestead a little bit differently with traveling to see Mike's mom. And I know it's got to be hard on them. So just continue to lift them up in your thoughts and prayers. I know they'd appreciate it. And everybody that's going to the Mother Earth News Conference this weekend, enjoy. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy your gardening if you're gardening now. Susie, enjoy your squirrel shooter. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that one. I want to see that thing.
Yeah. Good luck on whatever new things you're taking on this spring. If you're anything like us, it's always the opportunity to try something new. So if you don't have something new that you're trying, I'd encourage you to try something new this year. Plant something different, grow something different, grow it a different way than you've ever done it before, and come back and let us know how it went. Or if you have a channel, make a video on what new thing are you doing.
Yep.
All right, guys, it was a great show. It's 10 o'clock.
Is it 10?
It is.
Holy cow.
So I get to go to bed.
Tonight went fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fast, fast, fast. So thank you guys. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, please click it for us. It helps us out. And I guess we'll see you next Tuesday, right?
Next Tuesday.
We had a couple videos done and filmed. There's on the editor's desk right now, ready to get edited, put together, and hopefully we'll have one here for you in the next couple of days, as well as I think we've been on like a 1 per week cycle right now, and I want to get that back up to 2 per week. And
Yeah. Good night, guys.
so we'll see you guys.
Thanks for coming on over.
Yeah, thank you guys.